March 22nd, 2013, Dr. James Watson, Ph.D. in chemistry, killed the genetic theory of disease transmission. He was speaking at the University of California, San Diego, UCSD, and the Salk Institute by invitation. He spoke to 300 people, and a text of his speech was given to the San Diego newspaper the night before, and so it was published on the day he gave the speech. So it was the only newspaper that it appeared in, and he basically said all the experiments we've done over the last 60 years from 1953 to 2013 have been irrelevant because you can sequence, he said, I'm quoting him now, you can sequence 150,000 people a day who have cancer and diabetes and other diseases thought to be genetically transmitted, and you're not going to cure anything because it's all chemistry, biochemistry, a.k.a. nutrition. He said all the experiments we've done for the last 6 years have been irrelevant. Now, I want you to think about it. Cancer, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, every birth defect you can name and 10 times many you can't. And then things like, we already said cancer. And then these sorts of things are all totally preventable. Many of them are reversible after you have them. Certainly birth defects are totally 100% preventable. None of them are genetically transmitted. And this flies in the face of the entire genetic theory. Well, of course, the genetic theory was put forth back in the 1920s and is based on observations by Charles Darwin, his cousin Francis Galton, and several other people in the middle 1800s. And in the 1920s, researchers from New York University came up with the idea of genetic disease transmission. Well, in 2003, they mapped out the human genome, and nobody's been able to prevent or cure disease with genetic engineering ever, yet, right? And so what's going on here? Well, I want you to get a hold of the book Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. The book Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. Get a hold of the book Rare Earths, Forbidden Cures, and get a hold of the book Immortality. And what you're going to find is those three books will show you what you need to do to maximize your genetic potential for longevity, for health, for intelligence, for being able to fend off diseases, strength, speed, all that kind of stuff. We're all given a potential. You're not guaranteed anything, but you're given a potential. But to maximize your potential, you have to give your genes, your DNA, RNA, and the telomeres, which are the end caps on your chromosomes, you need to give them the raw materials, which are the 60 minerals, 60 essential minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. They don't just have a mushy requirement. You just take them and things happen. No. Your genes, your DNA, RNA, and the telomeres, the end caps on your chromosomes, require these 90 essential nutrients to do their job. The book, Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, goes through this nutrient by nutrient and shows you what diseases and how it works and so forth are prevented and reversed by these nutrients. And then you can go the other way. You can look up the nutrient and tell you which disease, or you can look up the disease and tell you what nutrient. And there's no other book like it out there. This book, Epigenetics, will allow you to understand that you can make your church a diabetes-free church in a couple of months. I don't mean everybody's under control. I mean it's not there anymore. You can prevent Alzheimer's disease in your church. Alzheimer's disease is reversible. Okay? It's not genetically transmitted. Same way with cancer. Cancer, you can prevent breast cancer by 462% just by how you cook your food. All these details and the universities that did the research are in the book Epigenetics. I mean, think about it. You can reduce your risk of breast cancer by 462%. What if all the women in your family had breast cancer? That doesn't mean you have to have it. You change how you cook. You change what you eat. You supplement properly, and the odds of you getting breast cancer is reduced to almost zero. Same with Alzheimer's disease. Everybody in your family can have Alzheimer's disease. It's not genetic. Well, that's one of my first sort of troubles that I got into in 1993 when I came out with my audio cassette tape, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And I said Alzheimer's disease was not genetic. It was based on all this research and science. And, I had the medical groups, the various states, medical professional groups, going to the state attorney generals, wanting them, and they did. They demanded a warrant. They gave me a demand warrant for me to prove what I was saying. Otherwise, they were going to arrest me and send out an arrest warrant. It was very easy to prove because it was published and researched by the University of California, San Diego, the Salk Institute. So it wasn't anything I was making up, but it just sounded outrageous to the ignorant doctors. Not too unusual, right? So remember, you read this book and you say, oh my gosh, we've known the cause, prevention, and cure of type 2 diabetes for 70 years. It's a simple mineral deficiencies. We've known the cause, prevention, and cure of all the heart diseases, congestive heart failure, cardiomyopathy heart disease, obstructive artery disease, coronary thrombosis. All these are preventable and all of them are reversible. You just have to know what causes them. It's all in the book, Epigenetics. And then Alzheimer's disease, again, totally preventable, totally reversible. You have to know what causes it, and then it's easy. If you believe it's genetic, you're not going to go after the cure. You're just going to try and work on the gene replacement, right? Well, nobody's done it yet, and I don't believe they'll do it because none of them are genetic. All epigenetics. Well, stick with us. We're going to be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us today?
Well, I thought we'd talk about a Fox News story here. Headline, hundreds of babies possibly exposed to TB at a Texas hospital. This happened at Providence Memorial Hospital in El Paso. And they say about more than 700 newborns and 40 employees at this hospital were exposed to a worker that had an active case of sometimes deadly tuberculosis. This employee was working in the nursery, interacted with patients for months before later being diagnosed with the disease. A total of 706 babies, 43 employees were possibly exposed between September 2013 and August 2014, so nearly a year. And the health department says that the health and hospital officials are working to contact the affected families and provide screening and follow-up care free of charge. They say TB is a serious but treatable disease that is spread through the air. Although TB is not easy to catch from another person, we want to be extra sure that the child is examined according to the health department. In a letter that they sent to the parents, the TB is a potentially fatal disease and generally affects the lungs and can lay dormant in a person's body for months or even years and then spread when it goes active if the person coughs or sneezes or speaks. And that's all from the CDC. And they say babies and other people with weakened immune systems are particularly vulnerable to becoming infected. Boy, I tell you, the hits never stop coming, do they, Doc? It's just, I don't understand, why they wouldn't, test healthcare workers for things like that,
Particularly the nursery, yeah.
Yeah, especially the nursery. Interestingly enough, I heard an ad on the television last night, Doc, where it's a guy who is claiming that he is a doctor, and he said that he was addicted to prescription drugs for several years before becoming clean, and what he was asking voters to do was approve a proposition here in California that's going to require health workers to be drug tested, just like cops, bus drivers, and truck drivers, and all.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and so maybe all the stuff we've been talking about might be helping.
Well, we deserve a flourish on that one.
I think you are correct on that one.
And, of course, 746 babies exposed. This came out the Center for Disease Control. I think it was March 2008. March 2008. The Center for Disease Control said each year in America, Doug, medical doctors infect 2 million patients, infect them, not expose them, but infect 2 million patients in the hospital, and 90,000 die each year. What would happen if ISIS were to kill 90,000 Americans?
Oh, I think we'd be sending some nuclear bombs their way.
Yeah,
probably.
we declare war. We declare war immediately. Well, here's one trade in their workplace. They do it every year. This is a yearly figure. Doctors infect 2 million of their patients every year in hospitals alone. Doesn't count private practices and that sort of stuff, but in the hospitals alone, medical doctors in America infect 2 million patients, of which 90,000 die, and they get a walk. Now, if a foreign entity like ISIS were to do it, or a country like Iran or North Korea were to do it, with a biological weapon, we declare war on them immediately. I mean, the Senate and the Congress, House of Representatives would get together. Within minutes, it'd be 100% vote for war. And here's one group of people who are the only protected monopoly in America. They're self-policing, have no oversight by any agency. They continue just for that one thing, infections. They kill 90,000 people a year in their workplace. Nobody even gets an OSHA ticket. And then, according to the Center for Disease Control, medical doctors each year, Doug, Center for Disease Control, and the Journal of the American Medical Association, February 5th, 2007, came out and said medical doctors kill, injure, and infect 15 million of their customers at their workplace every year. It's a yearly figure. 15 million are killed, injured, and infected. I mean, when do people understand that the doctor is the most dangerous person on earth? It's not these ISIS guys. It's the doctors. Well, thank you for that information. Well, hang on. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, in the Youngevity Way. Undead doctors don't lie for these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to New York. And Isaac, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Okay, hello, Isaac. You're on the air.
Hello, Dr. Wallach. I'm 5'11", weigh 150 pounds. And I need to tell you, during my stages of Crohn's disease, I developed on the surface of my anus, the inside cheek, hemorrhoids.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, the same area near the rectum, I developed abscess, which turned into perianal fistula.
Sure.
And, during the stages, there were some bumps, weird bumps on the bottom of my butt.
Mm-hmm.
This happened because I was so sick and tired, feces got caught on my skin and no longer feces.
Oh, let me ask you another question. When you were a kid, did you have asthma or any kind of bronchitis or the croup or anything like that?
I didn't.
Any respiratory problems?
I didn't have asthma, but when it came to playing sports, I would breathe hard.
Mm-hmm.
When the longer I played.
Yeah, maybe what they would call exercise-induced asthma. Yep. And then, do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do.
And do any of them have any problems?
No, they don't. Well, except one of my brothers have high blood pressure, but it's not severe.
Okay, nobody has skin problems? Nobody has...
my sister has skin problems.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Shar, this is a Shar thing. What's our friend Isaac have here?
He's got a gluten intolerance. That's what Crohn's disease is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's the extreme end of it.
Exactly. It's the most severe form of gastrointestinal gluten intolerance. And because it changes the lining of your intestine, you don't absorb very efficiently, and you wind up with all kinds... What causes varicose veins and spider veins and hemorrhoids, Shar?
The lack of copper.
Yep. Do you happen to have gray hair, Isaac, or any white hair on it?
You know what? I actually have gray hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the same thing that causes hemorrhoids causes white hair. In both cases, the gray, white hair and hemorrhoids are caused by a copper deficiency, as Shar says. So what would you do for this gentleman of 150 pounds, Shar?
Oh, he should probably get on 2 healthy... he needs to get on 2 healthy start packs 2.0 because... So he doesn't...
Drop-dead gluten-free, very good.
Yeah.
What would you do for an added source of copper?
I would he needs to take some selenium because it's got copper in it.
Yep. I'd go ahead and take 9 selenium a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner, would be 3 bottles a month, and 2 of the healthy start packs. Gluten-free, no fried foods, no processed meats with nitrates, nitrites, no oils, and call us every 2 weeks. Isaac, we'll walk you through this. You're going to be a new man. We'll be back after these messages.
And let's head on to Germany. And Gottfried, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Germany, Gottfried. Okay, hello, Gottfried. You're on the air.
Hi. Thank you very much,
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Wallach. I've got a German-speaking person from Berlin, and he's suffering from eyes bleeding, retinal degradation, and tearing of the eyes and bleeding, and he needs help.
Sure. Okay, so he's getting retinal bleeding. You say he's tearing his eyes or tearing, he has tears all the time?
Yeah.
Okay, does he have any other skin problems, anything like eczema or dermatitis or dry skin?
And nothing.
Okay, does he have any history of constipation or diarrhea, do you know?
He have constipation.
Okay, and does he have a history of like asthma or bronchitis as a kid?
No.
Okay, what does he weigh?
About 160.
160 pounds, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Shar, this is a Shar thing. What do you think is causing his constipation and all this retinal bleeding and all that other stuff?
I would guess it's a gluten problem.
Good guess. You get an A+. Okay. And, of course, tearing is very interesting. Tearing is caused by a keratin obstruction of the nasolacrimal ducts, which is that little tube in the inner corner of your eye. It has, you see it like it has a little spot in it. That little spot is actually an opening of a tube that goes down into your nasal passage. And when you have tears, your excess tears are supposed to go down that tube into your nasal passage and not run down your face. When you have a vitamin A deficiency secondary to a gluten intolerance, because you can't absorb vitamin A very efficiently, it's a kind of a big, clumsy molecule. And when the keratin builds up in that little tube, which is smaller than the diameter of a straight pin, the tears can't go down that tube anymore, so they just roll down the face. That's very classic for what's called keratosis, skin problems, dry skin, and, of course, constipation. The same thing's happening in the intestines. And at 160 pounds, I'd put this guy on 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. That's going to give him all 90 essential nutrients, optimal amounts, including a little bit of extra vitamin A. And wouldn't hurt to throw one more thing in there. I would throw in the Ultimate Daily Tablets, 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner. That's 1 bottle a month, again, for more vitamin A, and also getting blood flowing for obstructed blood vessels. And no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, and no gluten. And getting on a gluten-free diet will get rid of the constipation and get rid of the keratosis. We'll be back after these messages.
Let's head to Michigan. And Kyle Ann, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Kyle Ann. You're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. I am calling about a 10-year-old boy with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy.
Okay.
I spoke with Shar. Hi, Shar. I mailed my friend all of the information that Shar gave me, and she asked, "Do you have anything else?" And I said, "Well, I could call the radio show and speak with Dr. Wallach, and then her friend could hear more information."
Sure.
So that's what I'm calling about.
Okay, when it comes to information on muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis, these types of things, Keyshawn disease, a.k.a. hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, heart disease, these 3 diseases are very closely related because they're all deficiency diseases of minerals, cystic fibrosis, Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, and Keyshawn disease, a.k.a. hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, heart disease. And I would get a hold of the book Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, the book Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, which came out in 1994. It shows a lot of pictures of these kids have been dealing with for 36 years. And the book Epigenetics goes into a lot of the deep research when it comes to cellular stuff and genetic markers and how you can reverse the genetic markers and just get rid of the disease. Okay, that's the Epigenetics book and the book Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. Now, this is very simple. It is absolutely drop-dead, very simple. A 10-year-old kid, they respond very, very quickly. And let's see here. Those 2 books will get them started. And there's an enormous amount of references, referencing all the research, of course, my own research at Emory University and the Yerkes Primate Center. I gave Jerry Lewis 5 years ago the information on muscular dystrophy and how to prevent it, how to reverse it. And he got excited because we didn't want any money. We just said, "Do you want to be the one to make the announcements? We found out the cause, prevention, and cure of muscular dystrophy." He took it to the MDA Foundation, and they fired Jerry Lewis. That's why he hasn't done the telethon for the last 5 years. They fired him for bringing them the information. And so your friend would do well to read these books. Again, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures and the book Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, goes into extreme detail in both these books on these types of birth defects, particularly muscular dystrophy and cystic fibrosis. So that's kind of the direction I would send them in, okay?
Real good. I sent her all the diet things and all the information and the healthy brain and heart pack that Shar told me. So I do have all of that. It doesn't make any difference that it's Duchenne's.
No. It's kind of a random chance because it's not genetic in any way, shape, or form. It's just random chance whether you get muscular dystrophy in your hips and legs, or if you get it in your back, or if you get it in your shoulders, if you get it in your heart muscle, which is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease, or you get the internal organ manifestation of the deficiencies of the pancreas, the liver, and the lungs, which obviously is a little bit different manifestation than the muscle groups. And it's very, very satisfying to know that we actually know the prevention, cause, and cure for muscular dystrophy. But you and people like yourself, Kyle Ann, are going to have to do this because the Muscular Dystrophy Foundation, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, are not interested in spreading the word on the cure. because it's the end of their trail if they find the cure. The money is in looking for the cure. The money is not in finding the cure. And so they know that from the March of Dimes. Once the March of Dimes found the polio vaccine, 99% of the donors stopped donating. Well, we've accomplished our task. We don't have to donate anymore. And that's what they're afraid of. Okay? And so that's where the problem is. Just think about it. They fired, the Muscular Dystrophy Foundation fired Jerry Lewis. People say, didn't he die? No. He's working in Vegas every night. There's nothing wrong with Jerry Lewis, except that we have to do some anger management because the MDA fired him.
Okay? Your help on longevity is sure changing my life, and I'm appreciative. I'm so thankful for Char because she's helped me so much. So
okay, well, Char's an angel, that's for sure. That's why she's on here, because she has 25 years of experience with us. She has a tremendous amount of experience, and you got a good helper there in Char, okay?
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Okay, Kyle, and thank you. And let us know how things go. Any more questions, let us know. Okay, Doug, we have time to start another one.
Yeah, let's head to Florida. And Marcia, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Marcia, you're on the air.
Yes, Dr. Wallach, yes.
You have to speak up a little bit, please. You have to speak up a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
That's much better. Mm-hmm.
Yes, my son has a very terrible cough. He has a cough all the morning. He's coughing so terrible.
And how old is he?
He's 25.
25?
Yes, and I have a problem with my heart,
Okay, well, let me finish with one. Does your son have any history of skin problems, any eczema or dermatitis or psoriasis?
He has some, liver spots.
Okay, where's the spot at? Behind his ear, or on his tummy, or on his forehead, or where's it at?
In his tummy.
On his stomach, okay.
On his back.
On his back, okay. And how big is it? Big as a dime, big as a quarter, big as a deck of cards?
It's big, like a deck of cards, yeah.
Okay, and do you have any other children?
Huh?
Do you have any other children, or is he your only child?
No, we have 3 more.
Okay. Do any other of the kids have any respiratory problems? Any asthma, bronchitis, coughing?
The big one has asthma.
Okay, Char, this is a Char thing. What you got here?
It's absolutely a gluten problem.
Yep, drop-dead gluten problem. You got it.
Yep.
How much does this 25-year-old son weigh?
I'm not really sure.
Okay. Is he bigger than you or smaller than you?
He's bigger than me.
Okay, how much do you weigh?
140.
Okay, so let's say he's somewhere around 175, close to 200 pounds. I would give him 2 of the healthy brain and heart packs per month. I would also get him on a gluten-free diet, absolutely drop-dead gluten-free diet. As Char says, no wheat, barley, rye, or oats. You get a hold of that CD called Serial Killers, which is going to show him where all the hidden stuff is. You need to give this to all your other 3 children because they have it too. You passed it on to them. It's not a genetic thing, but it is passed on through cord blood and breast milk, and it's manageable by being on a drop-dead gluten-free diet. Absolutely no wheat, barley, rye, or oats, no fried foods, no processed meats, no nitrates, nitrites, no oils, and the 2 healthy heart and brain packs for this son with these problems. And if he's really, really good about the gluten-free, that includes the dog, the cat, the bird, the fish, the spouse, mother-in-law, anybody living in the house has got to be gluten-free. Nobody in the house can be eating gluten, otherwise it'll be cross-contamination, the laundry, the couch, the food preparation service, and so on, and he'll never quite get where he needs to be. So call us every couple of weeks, Marcia, and we'll walk you through this thing because this is a very easy resolution on this, okay? And call me next time. We'll talk about your heart problem. In the meantime, you can get on one healthy brain and heart pack, or just start with that, and then call me in 2 weeks, and we'll spend some time on your personal health questions. Well, stick with us. We're going to be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages.
Let's head to Ohio. And Fred, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Fred, you're on the air.
Hello, Dr. Wallach. My name is Fred Tierney. I wonder if I could give you a quick short story to praise your product, and I'll ask you my question.
Okay.
A friend of mine, we are both retired Coast Guard. I'm 60. He's close to that. I was talking to him. Somehow the subject came up about your products and you, and he says, hey, I've heard of that. He says, years ago I took the pig pack because 10 years before he came into Coast Guard, he was a Navy SEAL. And the Navy SEALs, the work did a lot of damage to his shoulders and his neck.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the pig pack, and I says, what did it do for you? He says, well, it fixed me up. And I said, that's great, Mike. Are you still taking it? He says, no, I'm cured. Well, I says, well, I'm taking that too because I have arthritis in my knees and ankles. And I had my left knee that was very sore for months and months. I couldn't get anything to relieve it, but finally your product with the pig pack cured my knee. There's no pain whatsoever. My ankles are fine. They don't swell up. And then just recently I injured my knee again dancing at a wedding. Because, like I said, I am 60. I should watch myself a bit. But my knee healed itself back up within just days. And I'm back to being strong again. And I thought this was fantastic.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that kind testimony.
Now, here's my question. Since I got the pig pack that comes with the Beyond Osteo, it comes with the Tangerine and the minerals derived by plants. It's a clear one. My question is, do I take the proper dosage of both of those bottles of tangerine and the minerals, or is that like a choice of a different flavor?
Okay. Now you're talking about the liquid tangy tangerine?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the liquid...
yeah. And are you taking any glucogel? Are you taking any glucogel?
Yes.
Okay. Now how much do you weigh?
About 280. I'm 6'2".
Okay, 6'2", 280. Well, this goes by body weight. So optimally, you'd have 3 doses of everything a day. You'd have at 380. I'd have you take 20 glucogel a day: 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner, and 5 at bedtime. That'll be 3 bottles a month of the glucogel. Then the tangerine, you need 3 bottles a month of that. I'm talking about optimal. So obviously, the price is a factor. You can cut it to 2 twice a day instead of 3, but optimally it would be 3, an ounce at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the EFA pluses, you want 3 bottles of that a month, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner. That prevents stroke and coronary thrombosis and is required for all kinds of subcellular reactions going on. Make sure your telomeres work and so forth. And you get an extra bottle of the minerals, just the plant minerals, and the osteo. And you're going to take an ounce of those 3 times a day because you're a big fellow, 280 pounds. Now, if you want to lose weight, Shar, what would you give him to lose? He's 6'2". What would you give him to maybe lose 60, 80 pounds?
I give him the ASAP.
Very good. ASAP, a dropper full under your tongue 30 minutes before each meal, a dropper full under your tongue 15 minutes before each meal. So you're going to have 2 dropperfuls under your tongue before each meal. The first dropperful will be at 30 minutes before each meal. The second dropperful will be 15 minutes before each meal. That's going to require 2 bottles a month of the ASAP to pull that off. And your friend really should get back on the product because you're never really cured, so to speak. We can resolve these problems, but everything wants to go away. Everything is kind of like a mountain. Old mountains are kind of short and round. Young mountains are tall and rugged. And they go away over time, and the same thing is true with our cartilage and bones and ligaments. They're constantly turning over like sand on a beach, and you have to renew it every hour of every day. That's maximizing your genetic potential for health and longevity. That's called epigenetics. So he needs to get on this because he fixed himself some years ago, but he needs to be on it so he'll never have the problem again. Thank you so much for the testimony, Fred. Thank you, Shar. Super job. Thank you so much, Doug and Susan. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.